New Frontier Craft 1.8.5 Development C. It's about time we had another update. Now, this is not an official version. This is a development version that's being released publicly. What that means is do not trust this version. Don't start recording a series with a map on this version or starting a world on this version, because it's going to be pretty likely that the worlds generated from this version are going to be incompatible with 1.8.5 official. So do not trust this version. Since this is a development version and not an official version, this means I'm not going to release the entire update yet. There's a couple of specific reasons I'm releasing this publicly. So I'm not going to go crazy into this because I'm also in college with a high amount of credits, so I'm just going to briefly go over the things you need to know. First of all, this needs a fresh install. This is not, if you've been testing with other versions like Dev A or Dev B or any other development versions because you're an admin or somehow you got them, you know that what you've been doing so far is just dragging files into the jar file. That is 1.8.4, and they just updates it to 1.8.5 Dev A or something like that. This is not the case for Dev C. Development C is a fresh install, and I need to make a new install video because Mojang has updated the launcher, and now they've got a new launcher, and yeah, I'm just going to have to make a new video because it doesn't make sense anymore. So that video will be posted on this channel, and it'll be right after I post this video. Okay, one big thing to know is that Optifine is gone. Now, you might be asking, why did you do that? The basic answer to that is legal issues. He's a little touchy about his code. So Optifine is gone, and don't worry about that. If you have a crappier computer, if we shall say that, and Optifine really helped it before, through a couple of tests, including on my crap top myself, Optifine actually didn't seem to improve that much on beta. Like, maybe it helped it a lot back in the day, but with my recent tests, Optifine actually did very little to help the performance on my lower-end laptops. So, don't worry about performance. The only thing this is taking out that's an advantage is some of the graphic things like better grass and whatnot. But, hey, it's... Now New Frontier Craft is reliant on nothing. It is purely its own code for beta Minecraft, and it's integrated with nothing. So that's kind of unique. It's pretty much just straight beta it modifies now. Next thing you need to know is the brick oven. If you are going to play some survival, this is necessary to know to be able to progress. Well, I was about to say at all, but you can progress through other metals like silver. But to make brass and bronze, you're going to need to make, and steel now, you're going to need to make the brick oven. So the brick oven is made out of brick blocks, and the crafting recipe looks exactly like the furnace, except you're using brick blocks instead of cobblestone. And to use the brick oven is, you are going to either need anthracite, coal, or you can use planks, but it's inefficient with planks. It prefers coal or anthracite. To make brass, you're going to need to cook 3 zinc and 3 copper. To make bronze, you're going to need 5 copper and 1 tin. And to make steel, you're going to need 7 iron and 1 chrome. Now, one thing is that you can't just burn the bronze, which would be, 5 copper, 1 tin. What that costs is 1 coal. But making steel costs a different amount. It costs 4 coal. Or 1 anthracite. Also, I mean, as far as I've tested, there's no bugs, but expect bugs. I know that shift clicking is a little weird in it, and I don't know how to fix that quite yet, but it's a new thing, so expect those bugs. Last, and rather importantly, there's also a very large change in ores and metals. In fact, they've almost been completely rewritten. If you've been playing New Frontier Craft for a little while now, it's not going to be too alien. Like, it's not like I completely rewrote everything and suddenly it all doesn't make sense again. You're going to have to relearn it. No, but there are some large shifts. So one large thing that happened is I threw out a tier. I did not throw out any metals. It's just that before there was tier 0 and then 1 through 7. So tier 0 was like stone and wood, and then 1 through 7 they were sets of metals. Now there is no more tier 0. Tier 1 is stone and wood. And now there's 6 tiers of metals. So 2 through 7 are the metal tiers now. So this means metals have gotten shifted around, and this also means in general the lower tier metals have gotten a buff, including wood and stone, related to previous New Frontier Craft versions. This also means the higher tier metals have actually gone down a little bit in strength. But they're still, like, diamond is still about 2 to 3 times better than it is in vanilla beta. But it used to be 4 times better. So the higher tier stuff has gone down a decent amount. Like, it's not a little bit, you know, it's not like a 10% decrease. It's more like a 30% decrease. But the opposite has happened the lower tiers, so it's a little bit easier in the beginning. It's not as crazy at the end. It's a little bit more balanced. So this also means I've also changed how ores generate for the most part. There's some of them I didn't change at all. Iron is still mostly the same how it used to be. Iron is more common, or at least it should be. And this kind of brings me to the next thing. The reasons I'm releasing this version publicly is there's a couple of reasons. One is kind of a background reason, but if you want to help out, hey, by all means, that'd be awesome. And that is testing this new version with its new metal balance. If you want to help test that, contact me in some means. You could get some small rewards for the next server we host, or you'll probably gain more of our respect and possibly even gain, you know, a small amount of like admin commands next server. Like you'd be a moderator, you know, you may not hit being an admin, but you'll gain a lot of trust from us helping us test this. So yeah, that's out there. You might get some extra bonuses next server. I don't know. I'll think of something if you help out. Next reason is I want 1.8.5 official to be as bug-free as I can get it. 1.8.5 is going to be a really polished version, and it's going to be ready for the public. And this development version is necessary in seeing that, because I need multiple people playing the game to catch as many bugs as I can, because just me and developers testing the game, we're not going to catch everything. But there's also a primary reason why I'm releasing this publicly for the community, and that is I want more ideas for generating things into the terrain. As you know, the current server, and I'm going to make it more public and more secure. I'll do a public video on the server. It's been kind of in the background, but we do have a public server at the moment, and it is on 1.8.5 Development C at the moment. And I'll be buffing security, like I'll buff factions a bit so then you can claim more land and you can build stuff a lot safer. And again, at the moment it's going to be completely public. There's not going to be any whitelist. You can join with your friends, and it's like a half creative server, and its purpose is for people creating stuff for me to generate in the terrain, new things. So I've asked people before, well, I'm pretty sure I made a video on this. I asking you guys before to create stuff on this server, and I gave the parameters of having a 16 by 16 maximum size, and I think what people tried to appeal to was making a pretty, and I kind of said like something that was like forgotten, like barren looking structures, and you guys have created some cool stuff along those lines. But for 1.8.5, I'm only adding in a few of the best ones I've found in that area. I've realized the thing I want more right now is smaller, more unique things that match the Minecraft world. For example, this. This is something that I have made, and it's basically just a chopped tree with mushrooms growing on it or around it. It's small, it's unique, and it really fits the Minecraft world. It's also a little bit more natural, so I'm aiming for the more natural looking stuff. Like, you can still make some smaller structures, but I will like more natural things a lot better. So here's a couple of things to know about the static generator that I'm using to generate stuff like this. And One thing is that blocks do not have to be static. They can have... You can have them have different values generated. Like, say, on the top of the log here, like 49% of the time I want it to be the brown mushroom, 49% of the time I want it to be the red mushroom, and then 2% of the time the blue mushroom. I can totally do that on the static generator. It has the full ability to generate things like that. Of course, you're going to have to define that to me when you build it and put up signs. Just like put up signs, or even, why not a book? Put a book in a chest nearby and just define certain things about the generation. Also, where your object is generated can be defined. Like, say, you want it specifically to generate on top of grass, on top of just a solid block, in the air, I don't know, or even underground, in the stone, in the water, nearby water, on sand, in the desert, in a certain biome, which... Be careful about the biome. If you have a really good idea for a specific biome, totally go all out on it. I will be extending the static generator to be biome specific. It's not yet, though. So if you build something that can generate in any biome, I'm probably going to pick that more. But yeah, that's the basics of the static generator. Again, if you have some certain things you want to define, I'd say put it in a book, put it in a chest nearby, and make sure to mail me on the server using the bucket mail plugin, which I believe is connected to Essentials, to just mail me, Zauja, the coordinates of your build, because if you don't, I may never find your build, so make sure to do that. Once this is done, the next update is official 1.8.5. That means we will be going public. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be releasing it before... I'm going to have spring break within a week and a half, and I believe we're still going to be in Dev C by that point, but by Easter break, I'm expecting to have 1.8.5 out there. And that might be when we launch. And we actually try to take off and really hit the public. And I think New Frontier Craft will be ready for the public by then. Thanks for being a part of us, and I hope to see you on that server.